Hey guys, welcome back to Glory Hunter. Today we are back continuing on the European Championships in 2024. If you didn't catch the previous episode, we did manage to qualify out of quite a tricky group. You can see there it was pretty close between France, ourselves and Italy. And today we're jumping into the knockout stages. We're obviously on FIFA. You jump straight into the quarterfinals. If we make it all the way, there will obviously be 3 games in today's video. You can see that France have already beaten Scotland and England beating Germany. It's ourselves against the Netherlands and Spain against Belgium. So semi-finals, if we get there, are going to be tough regardless. I am feeling pretty nervous, I'll be honest. It's my first game of the day. And if you remember in the previous episode, we lost a few players due to retirement and injury. So obviously Ronaldo retired mid-tournament and has left the Portugal camp. So leading our line is Gonçalo Ramos. Wasn't massively impressed with Andre Silva, so he gets the nod. And we also obviously lost Bruno Fernandes through injury as well. So we're a little bit weaker, but I don't know, I'm feeling like it's our tournament. Let's jump into this first game against the Netherlands and see how we get on. Alright, then here is the Netherlands side. They're very good, and that 5 at the back worries me. Their 3 centre-backs are good, the full-backs are good, the midfield 3 is good. The front 2 are okay in Depay and Donyell Malen, but I think they're going to be really tough to play against in this one. That's my main concern, especially, as I've said, not to make excuses, but with it being my first game of the day, I am usually a little bit rusty, so it'll be interesting to see how we got on. You saw our team a couple of moments ago where we've lost a few important sort of components in this lineup, but let's just go out there, let's play our game, let's see how we get on. Ruben Neves captaining the side, let's see if we can lift that trophy. We have been just a little bit slow in these opening stages. That's a good ball out to Denzel Dumfries. Nuno Mendes does well, but again, there's not a huge amount of space out there as that pass is cut out as well. As I've said, with this 5 at the back, they're going to be extremely difficult to play through. It's Depay. Good little offload. Oh, didn't need the extra pass. And they're pressing up pretty high here. Here's Rafa Leao. No space against this Netherlands sort of back 8, if you will, with the 3 midfielders just in front of the back 5. It's a really defensive shape. Now we've got a free kick here, and we know what my record's like. Ruben Neves is over it. Gonna hit it with Neves. It's 3 and a bit bars of power. Neves up and over, and it's not too far away. It's the first real chance of the game. It's been slow so far. We've struggled to create anything against their sort of low block. I think the keeper had it covered, but it's not a million miles away from Neves, that. Interesting battle down this side between Denzel Dumfries and Nuno Mendes. But Nuno's done pretty well so far defensively. That's really good defending by Inacio, a man that we know very well, of course. Here's Gonçalo Ramos, not really got into the game so far. And he's given it away the first time we do get it up to him. Neves does well. Now can we get it forward? That's a good ball into Felix. Loses that, but it'll come to Ramos, who pokes it around the corner to Bernardo Silva. Not a lot of options. It falls to Leao at the back stick, and there is the opening goal. I'm not getting too excited yet. There's a long way to go. But it's Rafa Leao, a man that I am such a big fan of. Huge admirer of this lad. It's the first time we've really been anywhere near the penalty area. Bernardo Silva now moved into that right wing position. Obviously with a few injuries in midfield. And Leao just using the defenders and, well, whoever that was ghosting in, just to bend it around everyone into that far corner. And we take a lead, and I think that's important against this Netherlands side. If we'd gone a goal down, it would have been a lot of work to do to get back into it. Now here's Felix, but you see again the number of bodies they get around the ball and how quickly. Neves spreads it out to Cancelo. Now it's Bernardo Silva deflected behind for a corner just before the break, which Ruben Neves will swing into the middle. It's decent, but they're a big side. Comes out to Vitinha. Should be cleared just in time for the half-time whistle. There it is. And it's been one of those games that's tight and cagey, and the first goal was massively important, and we do lead 1-0 at the break. You can see from the stats we have probably just about edged it, but there's been no real major chances. We've kept them quiet so far, and with that back five only leaving the two up top, they don't create a huge amount of chances. So I'm going to go early and say I'm feeling confident that we can actually shut them out in this game. Still 45 to go and work to be done. We don't have to force things. We can try and take our time and build up. That's a poor challenge. But I think it was Matthias de Ligt. And it will be another free kick for us here. For a Portugal perspective, at the moment, it's all up the right end of the pitch. That's given away again. Could be a chance here. Ramos into Felix. Patient. And scores. Thought I'd done too much with Joao Felix, but I'm confident that that goal will see us into the semi-finals. Picked up high off the pitch. Ramos rolls it into Felix. Thought I may have gone a little too wide, but that second goal may have been the dagger that sends Holland home. Here's Koopmeiners lining up the power strike. And it might be their first shot of the game, that. Koopmeiners from range with about a minute and a half to play. We didn't really get out to him. And he absolutely rifles it home. 2-1. Still feel like we should be able to see this out. Well, there it is. Despite the late goal from Koopmeiners, it's not enough. Shame to see the clean sheet disappear late on, but in these sorts of tournaments, winning is all that matters. We do progress to the semi-finals where, as we said beforehand, it's going to be tough no matter who we face. Goals from Rafa Leao and Joao Felix, our former player at Atletico Madrid, send us through by 2-1. Let's see who we'll face in the semis. Alright then guys, semi-final draw is Portugal against Spain. Now, we'll get to France in a moment. I don't want to jinx myself here, but of all the teams I could have picked, Spain would have been the ones that I would have gone for between Spain, France and England. I think they're a very good side, a lot of young talent who will have progressed in this career, but I would have picked them over France and England. You can see that France did beat England, similarly to the Euros just passed in real life. So France will await either ourselves or Spain. We obviously already played them in the group stages, so we've had a little bit of a test against them already. We've got to get through Spain first, but like I say, out of all of those teams, I would have been most confident against Spain. So I better not lose it now after saying that, but we're going to jump into it. We're pretty much at full strength, so let's go and see how good Spain are and whether we can reach the final of our first international tournament. Let's do this. All right then, here's our team, unchanged from the win against the Netherlands. Didn't feel the need to make any changes. We were pretty comfortable. I do think that was also down to the Netherlands system that they played. Spain, their sort of predicted team was strong but not frightening, if you will. We will see it in just a moment's time. Here they are then, David De Gea between the sticks, a mixture of sort of youth and experience. Dani Carvajal at right back with Laporte and our former player Pau Torres at centre back, with Marc Cucurella making up the back four. Rodri, Thiago and Pedri in the midfield with Oyarzabal, Asensio and De Thomas up top. So, like I say, a mix of youth and experience. We're a little bit similar ourselves. Let's go out there and be victorious and make it to a European Championship final. A little bit of a press from Spain in the early moments of this one. Interesting to see how they go about that and whether they stick with the press. And more importantly, whether we can play through that press. Felix is on the run here. Bernardo's not really making me the run I was after. We have got a throw in here. Bernardo Nice touch into Ramos now. Looking to get it back to him. And yeah, Spain really pressing quite high here. If we can play around, you can see exactly like this. And if we can play around them, we'll get chances. This could be a little bit more of a goal glut than the previous game. Now Felix in a dangerous area. Gives it to the Spaniards. Diego Costa is forced into the first save. And maybe my statement pre-game was a little bit overconfident, because Spain are looking pretty dangerous here. Here is Joao Felix into Vitinha in the middle of the park, able to bring it forward. Gonna have a go, Vitinha, not the greatest of strikes. Held by De Gea, but it is our first one on target so far in the game. Good to test the hands of De Gea. Now there could be a chance on the break. Joao bursting into the penalty area. Can he pull it back? De Gea has to use his legs. Pulled across to Ramos. Big block by, I think it was Aymeric Laporte. We know that De Gea's very good with his legs and his feet. Still Spain come forward. We know that they'll just pass us to death if they can. And Costa tips Pedri's effort over the top of the crossbar. And they're just starting to probe now and create a few chances. It's a good effort. Clever free kick from Spain. Pedri forced a little bit wider than he may have liked. Thomas cuts it back, and it's a fantastic strike. And that is the worst time to concede. It's Mikel Oyarzabal with the finish. On his left foot. Not sure if Costa saw it late, but we were just trying to hold him up, and as it's pegged back, he may well have seen it late through Ruben Neves there. It's a good strike by Mikel, past Diogo Costa, and as I say, that is literally the worst time to concede. Last kick of the half, and Spain take the lead in this semi-final. But guys, it's these moments that count. I've made a big call at half-time. Gonzalo Ramos is off, and the man coming on for him, Diogo Jota, has not featured a huge amount, and certainly not in that central role. So it'll be very interesting to see if this pays off. Free kick is in, should be Costa's, and it is. Chance hit early as the defender was closing in. Diogo Costa turns it around the post. If they get a second, I think that might be game. Oh, and Asensio's done really well there. Pulled across. Saved by Costa. Here is Cancelo. Now it's Jota. Intercepted but fired out to Leao. Wait for the run. It's Felix. And it's 1-1. That is a huge goal. It was just starting to feel like it wasn't going to fall for us, and the chance wasn't going to come. But it's Joao Felix once again. Jota does well to hold it up in that central position. And having used Felix for a season at Atletico, we know that he doesn't miss them. Huge goal for Portugal. It's 1-1 in this semi-final. Game on again. Inacio does well, and it's starting to open up now. And it's end-to-end stuff. And it's into Bernardo Silva, saved by David De Gea. Huge chance. And Bernardo Silva's shot is parried behind by the Manchester United shot stopper. Neves' ball in. It's decent, it's cleared well. Jota's left his man there, and the ball on down the line finds its way to Ansu Fati. Just about managed to fake him out with the keeper. Oh, Leao had gone there, but Mendes couldn't find him. And again, Fati off the bench just with that raw pace. What a ball that is. And that might be Spain in the final. It's Mikel Oyarzabal again. It's just over the head of Ruben Diaz, as Inacio got dragged out wide. And I think that might be game. Cancelo doesn't do great at the back post, and Costa with minimal chance of keeping that out from such close range. We've got 5 minutes to save our European campaign here. It's not looking too good. Well, we've made a few changes and we've just gone for it. We've left one back. But it's got to be now if we're going to save this. Just a few moments remaining and we've lost the ball. Ball comes in. Cleared for now. It's not fully away. Fatty with the shot, saved by Costa, but that's going to do it. We're not going to have time. It is cleared away to Jota. But there goes the whistle. And we are heading out. And my pre-match words have come back to curse me. It's the Spaniards progressing to play France in the final. And fair play to them. They were very, very good in this game. One of our toughest opponents. And we just didn't have enough for them in this one. They did what Spain always do. They passed us to death, that quick 1-2. And I thought once we got back into it with João Felix that we might have the upper hand, but Mikel Oyarzabal with both the goals for Spain, the second coming very late on, will see them through to the final to face the French. And you can see from the stats, it was pretty even in terms of XG. We slightly edged the possession, but they did have more shots and more passes as well, which is very unlikely from the AI. Normally you see the AI with fewer passes, but that's what Spain did and it worked for them, and this is where our journey ends. So then guys, defeat in the semi-finals of the Euros. Disappointing to say the least. We'll find out together who's won it, and it is the French. So would we have come out any better? Who knows? But France, eventual winners, beating Spain by 3-1 in the final. This is the final group tallies as well for those that are interested. Quarter-final draw here, semi-finals, and of course the final. But we do have Roma to focus on once again. And the next episode will be the transfer window, where I've got some big things planned. Obviously, we need to make a real push for the Serie A this season. And we're also back in the Champions League, where we've not made it out of the group stage so far. So really want to try and progress in Europe as well. But as we take a look at the final Portugal team, I was a little bit disappointed with Ramos. I know we kind of picked him up for the knockouts, the toughest stages, which is always difficult, but he didn't really wow me. Leao was very good along with João Felix. Diaz and Inacio were very good at the back, as you would expect. We could have potentially played a 3 with Brito coming in as well. We obviously lost Bruno Fernandes to injury and Ronaldo left as well. So we can actually only look at the attributes and the sort of overall. But here is the Portugal team that were knocked out in the semi-finals. Annoyingly, there is no third place playoff, which I would have played to round off this episode, as it will be a little bit of a shorter one with only 2 games. But I said when I took the Portugal job, they're probably, you know, not one of the real elite national sides. They're probably just that step below. So maybe when it comes to the World Cup, we'll try and take a France or a Brazil, Argentina, one of those sorts of teams where we're more likely to progress a little bit further. And I think actually, as a result of that tournament, what I'm going to do is resign from the national team. We will resign as Portugal manager, as I'd like to go into each of the international tournaments as with a different country. So we've now got 2 years until the World Cup to try and decide who we want to go into that tournament with. So you can see Didier Deschamps and Kylian Mbappe there with the European Championship trophy. Carr quits as Portugal manager We'll say that it was a mutual decision. You can see that this followed a meeting involving the board and myself. The player of the tournament was given to England's Phil Foden, whilst the goalkeeper of the tournament went to Mike of France. Did we have any representatives in the team of the tournament? No, we didn't. It was pretty much all France and Spain, with Phil Foden chucked in there as well. So not the greatest of tournaments. I do apologise if this video is a little bit shorter, but I want to keep the segments separate. So we'll be back very soon with, of course, the transfer window with Roma, where we will be doing that live. You'll see all the signings as and when I make them. So quite looking forward to that. We've got quite a bit of work to do. So that will be out over the next couple of days, and I hope to catch you for that very soon. Peace.